All right, the Board of Assessors of the City of Gardner, Massachusetts is now in session on this Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 at 2:02 in the afternoon. First item on the agenda is open meeting.
It's open.
It's open.
Yeah. Seeing no one present, we'll refer to the second item, which is to review and approve the meeting minutes of September 26, 2023.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
All right.
Meeting minutes of September 26, 2023.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of September 26, 2023. Next item on the agenda, the assessor update of FY 2024 submission of values and new growth to the Department of Revenue.
So our values have been approved for the interim year 2024. I submitted the LA4, which is the values, and the new growth. Not a single question came back from the DOR. I just got a notice saying approved.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So we are good, and
Great job, Chris.
thank you. And now John, Richard, and I, we were just talking a little bit before this meeting that we'll start, he's going to start entering things on his end for the recap sheet. So as things come in, there are forms that I'll sign off and submit. And then once the recap sheet is all set, then we'll get you in for signatures and we'll submit the whole thing. We are planning to have the classification hearing on November 20th, which is earlier than last year. The mayor just kind of wants to get it done, and we'll be all set. And once that is good to go, then Jen can think about billing.
Okay.
So it'll give us more time.
Okay.
Is that
So we'll accept the motion to accept the assessor's report via update of the FY 2024, and that has been submitted to the DOR for their approval, which came without any qualification.
Good job.
It's always a good day.
Yes. So all those approved signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so voted. Discuss and vote on a recommendation to the City Council regarding the residential factor.
All right, so I gave you, both should have, and what did I do with mine? It's probably the last sheet there. With regard to the classification hearing, this is where we will recommend the residential factor that determines whether or not we have a single rate or a split rate. So a single rate is a residential factor of 1, and a split tax rate is basically anything other than 1 point, or point something. And I just feel, as you know, the same as past years, residential makes up, I think, 88% of our tax base.
Yeah.
So we're trying to attract commercial and industrial.
That's always been the case.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I just don't think that doing a split tax rate is justified. And my recommendation to you both is that we would recommend to City Council a residential factor of 1, which equals a single tax rate.
Yeah. I also feel the same way.
Chuck, how do you feel about that?
Oh, the cities that have gone to residential less than 1 have come back
Right, to a single rate.
residential factor 1.
Yeah.
So therefore, my approval is for residential factor 1.
Okay. Would someone like to make that motion?
Okay, so on October 17th, the Board of Assessors voted to recommend residential factor 1 to the city council. And,
I'll make that motion that we do, do the residential factor of 1. I didn't say that right, excuse me.
which results in a single
Which
tax.
results in a single tax for residential properties and commercial properties.
Excellent, I will second that.
All right, motion made and seconded that on the October 17, 2023 Board of Assessors meeting, the recommendation of residential factor 1 will be given to the City Council, which is a single property tax,
That is correct.
for their approval.
And that will come on November 20th?
That we're tentatively scheduled for November 20th for the classification hearing.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want us to come to that hearing?
If you would like
Sometimes
to.
they ask us to go,
Um,
just to show.
So last year, the mayor really, so what I'll do, I'll provide the mayor with a bunch of spreadsheets and chart, different statistics. That will all go to city council. So by the time the hearing comes up, they will have seen everything. So they have a good idea of what's going on. So really, the mayor does most of the speaking, and then I just kind of got up and presented our recommendation.
Mhm.
So if you'd like to be there, absolutely. If, it's not mandatory by any means.
I know Sue used to be terribly nervous about doing it,
I have to say, the mayor really probably handles more of it maybe than in the past.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised last year. My part in it was very small.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right, being no more discussion, we will put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so voted. Next item, executive session. We'll enter into executive session for the purpose to comply with and act under the authority of the general law, and not to return to open session upon adjournment.
I will make that motion as stated.
Motion's made and seconded, but we go into executive session and not to return to open session except for adjournment.